Hi, I'm John Gundry with Throwback Electronics, and we're going to do part one of our shop tours. And we're going to start with the Slug 101 winder. I'll talk about what makes this machine unique, the history of it, and what models of pickups we wind on it. For anybody who might be interested, there's a bit of a long story as to how I got the machine. A few years ago, I ordered a custom Heritage guitar from a local dealer, and when it was ready, I had them contact Heritage to see if it was okay if I picked up the guitar. They said it was fine, and also, before I went, I asked them if they had any old pickup winding machines, and they said, sure, we'll show you one when you're here. So the day comes, and I go to Heritage, and I pick up my guitar, which is beautiful, used as a test guitar to this day. And while I was there, they brought me up to the floor where the old Sperry booth is in the old Gibson plant, and showed me this machine. I took a look at it. I thought, that's pretty cool. What kind of history do they have about it? Well, this machine was used to wind PAFs. So halfway home, I thought, you know, I need to pursue this further and at least find out all I can about the machine. So I went back, asked guys at Heritage, were very nice about allowing me to see if I could switch the machine on. I took a video of that, which I'll show here. And while I had it switched on, I also took video of the traverse mechanism, so at the very least I could duplicate its action if possible on the computer I set up that I was using at the time. Ultimately though, Heritage was nice enough to sell me the machine, and we use it to make specifically the SLE 101 and the SLE 101 Plus models. We use it to make the pickups, the slug coil for the pickups, because this machine was only ever set up for slug coils by Gibson, and that's how we use it now. There's a little bit more prior history to that I'll get into, and a lot of interesting features with the machine that I'll show close-ups of and cover what makes it unique and how we use it today. First of all, the machine started out with this portion to the left. It's an old design that is still, well, up until a few years ago, you could still buy a machine that of the similar design, and I have a backup one for this actually. But this design goes back to the 30s and is a simple hand-guided winder with a mechanical counter that does not have an auto shut-off. So you have to tend to the machine. We believe that this part of the machine on the left was used to make the large diagonal pickups that appeared on some of the old Gibson arch tops. The reason being is this is one of the few machines that could accommodate such a large bobbin. In the 50s, the auto traverse mechanism, which is made out of wood, was designed by a pattern maker at Gibson and was designed to still accommodate a rewind of one of the diagonal pickups that would have originally been made on the machine before the auto traverse. There's a cutout here in the bottom. I'll try to get a shot of that. That allows for this bobbin, a larger bobbin, to be rewound once this upper carriage is tipped back, and it's hinged at the back to allow it to tip back in case one of those larger pickups did need a rewind. One of the cool things about this machine is that it uses some found parts that Gibson repurposed to make the machine. In this example, these are screw-mounted strap buttons, cream strap buttons that are turned into wire guides to guide the wire through the felt tensioners here. And felt tensioners are very basically made, but absolutely effective in tensioning the wire. You can adjust the tension by adjusting the nuts here that apply more or less pressure to the felt tensioning. The traverse on this machine is operated by a separate motor, that has a mechanism that I'm keeping hidden, but essentially I don't really want to give away this detail of the machine, but it operates very similarly to a lobeless cam arrangement. And the reason that's important is it affects how the wire is distributed on the bobbin. A lobeless cam will make more wire buildup on the ends of the bobbin where the traverse changes direction. And in the case of this machine, it affects the tone of the finished pickup by changing the treble response of the coils that are wound on this machine. So we have the SLE 101 and 101 Plus models dedicated to slug coils that are wound on this machine. It's certainly not your typical factory-made machine winder, but it is effective for sure. Another interesting indicator of the kind of use this machine got over the years is the whole side of it is covered with solder splatter, which must be there from a result of where the operator would have had the soldering iron and likely just dipped the tip in some solder and flicked it off prior to attaching the pigtail leads to the magnet wire. But over lots of use, it deposited a lot of solder over the side of the machine. Thanks for watching part one of the Throwback Shop tour, where we covered the Slug 101 winder, and the pickups that are made on it are the SLE 101 and SLE 101 Plus. We're going to do a part two and more parts that cover the cool pickup winding machines here at Throwback. The Lisona 102 and 102B will probably be next. Stay tuned.